Vince McMahon had a meeting with Naomi. They came to an agreement. She's going to be back on the active roster. We don't know about the status of Sasha Banks.
I think at this point you need a radical shift when it
Yes.
comes to storyline development and all of professional wrestling, period, but specifically WWE. It feels so contrived. It's the same promo every week. It's the same feud every week. It's just the same.
You know, I mean, like, Chris, it's like, you know, here's a perfect start. Why aren't we talking to Stephanie about stepping down?
True.
Like that's a perfect start. But yeah, bro, there needs to be a transition, or else you're never going to be able to do something like this, bro, ever.
Yeah. And you know what's so funny? Interesting organic, sidebar here. I think that would really put Theory over. because like if Theory was involved in the Stephanie McMahon, going away, and he's taking selfies of like Stephanie at home and then doing stuff like that, and taking videos like, yeah, I knew it had something to do with such and such. You know what I mean? Just something that the whole reality piece to it. I think that takes Theory to the next level without these contrived storylines.
And bro, can you imagine if we have a sit down with Stephanie? Stephanie, we know it's been a hard time with you and Triple H. This is the first time you're talking together, blah, 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 blah. And then she says what she's going to say. Bro, can you imagine if then we talk to Vince, or Vince tweets out, man, I just watched Stephanie's interview. I never in my wildest dreams thought a McMahon could be that weak. Like just stuff like that, bro. That's how you're gonna grab people's attention. Like what? But bro, that's what it is, man. They are so used to doing what they know and controlling what they know, Chris. They're just afraid of the unknown.
Yeah, I agree. So Sasha comes back. Naomi comes back. Now, how do we set up Naomi's return? Is it just a lights off and she interferes in the match? Is it some type of Naomi said, Naomi tweets, like, for instance, I think say for instance there's a Raw in I'm a Columbus, Ohio guy. So say if there's a Raw in Columbus, Ohio in July sometime, or August. And so the weekend before, the Raw in July of the whatever coming city that it's in, she'll say, see you in blank, right? So if Raw's in Columbus that coming Monday, she'll say, see you in Columbus. Just a simple tweet, see you in Columbus. I think that without making just a hokey, Naomi's coming back, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to make it seem like WWE's endorsing this. I think what would be cool, even before Naomi returns, is Naomi is seen in the crowd. I think I think something like that would cause a lot of buzz and generate a lot of buzz with her being in the crowd, because I think if you do the whole WWE announcing Naomi speaks type of deal, I just think you don't want the WWE type of smear on this. I think you really got to make this as organic, and you got to make this have some as many layers as possible.
Chris, it's happening now. It's happening with AEW, no question about it, no doubt about it. That whole MJF thing, the Meltzers and I think some of the dirt sheets, I think they were in on it. And I think Tony Khan paid them. This is the message I want you guys to put out. And bro, they're going to do that in a minute because it makes them feel part of the business. Oh my God, we're involved in this angle now. Tony Khan, that's why they're doing it, because now they feel like they're in. Okay, bro, the WWE can work the wrestling media to get out there exactly what they want. And I would just get out there, that, listen, Vince McMahon had a meeting with Naomi. They came to an agreement. She's going to be back on the active roster. We don't know about the status of Sasha Banks. Mm-hmm. Then, bro, give her the mic and let her tell the story that you're hearing. Let her tell the story that, like, Sasha was very controlling. And this is what Sasha wanted. I never felt 100%. Let her tell that story as a shoot. But I want to thank Vince for, meeting with me, letting me understand the way I feel. I'm happy to be back. Because now that immediately sets off Sasha. And now she could start, go ahead, Chris. She could start through social media. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that. I was going to say even before the I've worked something with Vince, I think you need an edge with Naomi. You know what I mean? If she tweets, "See you in Columbus," whatever the upcoming Raw city is, that creates a ton of buzz. Because I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist, so I'm thinking, what's going to create headlines, right?
Yeah.
And so if she tweets, "See you in the upcoming Raw city," and then all of a sudden she's in the crowd, and because I'm longevity, I'm a storyline guy. She's in the crowd, and I wouldn't even, like, if I was WWE, I wouldn't even mention her. Like, I wouldn't have anything. She's in some seat, one of the floor seats or one of the 100s or something like that. And then, of course, that creates more buzz. Naomi was in the crowd. Naomi was in the crowd. And I think you get that organic type of feel. And
that reeks work to me, Chris. Because think about it. You're a psychologist. Let's think about it. Why would Naomi ever be in the crowd?
Because she has something to say.
Why would she be in the crowd?
To me, I think if you do the whole Naomi's coming back, I want to go so far away.
You don't do that at all. You don't, bro. You feed the wrestling media. They came to an agreement with Naomi. We haven't heard anything about Sasha Banks, and then just let her come out and cut that promo and tell her story.
And I would say even before cutting the promo, I think that's when coming to the crowd. Because the thing is, from a psychological standpoint, if someone is feeling is in their feelings and is upset about a situation, right? They were going to. It's like returning to an ex and driving past their house if y'all had like a heated breakup, right? And that's that type of feel to it. Like, I don't necessarily want to be with you again, but I want to see if someone else is like, if I'm just going to lurk around a little bit and see if some other person's coming out your door. You know what I mean? Just that type of feel to it. And I think from a psychological standpoint, if Naomi, it's not like, hey, I'm second guessing. It's more like, because even if she's in the crowd and she tweets, the critics were true. Raw is just as sitting from the crowd. Raw is as bad as they say it is. You know what I mean? Just something like really, really controversial, right? Yeah, and then after a few weeks, she just starts going to a couple of cities and doing that and saying, "Man, that dewdrop, botch was terrible." You know what I mean? And just like that whole X type of syndrome, you know what I mean? And just start criticizing. And then all of a sudden someone is cutting a promo like The Miz or something like that, or Michael Cole. Corey Graves has the mic or something like that. And then I think after like 2 or 3 weeks, what will be interesting is then she pulls like a Scott Hall, and then she hops the barricade, and then she gets in the ring, no glow stuff, just regular street clothes. And I think when you present it like that, it takes away the transition of, okay, we've reached an agreement. It's like, give me more layers than we've reached an agreement. Give me the layers of how is Naomi really feeling during this transition. She's bitter. She might be bitter. She might be upset. She might be frustrated. let me see that unfold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see that unfold as you come and watch the Raw and say, yeah, the critics are, it's just as bad as thought. Like you're sounding like someone who it broke out of a relationship, and your ex was the best thing in the world at first, but then you realize after a while, yeah, there was some blind spots that I was seeing because it was such a honeymoon stage. Now I realize that they are pretty frustrating and annoying, but you're saying that just because you're in your feelings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people agreed with you too. Yeah, I told you you should have broke up with me. You know what I mean? And so it's like that whole that's how you get that crowd support too. I told you should have broke up with him. I told you. And then all of a sudden it's kind of like a reconciliation, because you typically, when people break up, they have the worst things to say about each other. And then after that moment, that breakup moment is done, then they start to be a little bit more rational and say, okay, well, let's try to see and maybe kind of start from scratch to start to become friends again. And I think as the crowd is organically seeing that transition to Naomi coming back, it's not just a WWE announcement. I mean, those are my thoughts to it.
I like that, bro. The only thing I would not, her showing up is to me reeks work. I think you do exactly what you said. Let her do it on social media, bro. Let her start ragging on the product, and let her start doing on social media. And maybe because, now she's causing problems, maybe that's why it's like, okay, it's time for us to sit down and talk to her. You know what I'm saying? So
or even because she's causing more problems, that's where it all turns in with Vince doing the tweets.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Naomi, I see you're saying all this stuff on social media. Let me give you a live mic for Raw this coming Monday.
Can you imagine she's dogging this, and then all of a sudden Vince McMahon's account, hey, guess what, Naomi? I know how to tweet too. Bro, it could be. Bro, they just don't think out of the box. They just don't think out of the box. Vince McMahon being hot and live on social media would be absolutely tremendous, bro.
And that leads to, okay, well, I see you ragging on us every week. Let me give you a live mic. You say you air your grievances out on Raw. You know what I mean?
And let them say, but that's ratings, man. You got something to say. Say it in front of. I'll pay you. I'll pay you. And bro, let them say, hey, if anybody knows it's me, we need ratings.
Right.
Let them say it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, but
so she grabs a live mic. I'll say she grabs a live mic. She airs her grievances like as a shoot and explain exactly what happened. And then that's when Sasha becomes more the villain, because the angle is Sasha was the one who manipulated me to walk out with her, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, that's when Sasha integrates in here, and then she becomes the big heel, and then eventually we bring her back and say, well, you're right. I did do that.
Yeah. And bro, think about it. Think about it. How hot is Sasha? This happened once when I was in the business, where there was a team and one person was called back and the other wasn't. So literally, how hot would she be if Naomi's called back, but they don't call her back? Because quite frankly, they don't like her. They don't want her back. I mean, could you imagine? And then, bro, if she started this stuff up, here's Vince again on social media. I love what you're saying, I love what you're saying, Sasha, but it would probably be better saying it to my face. I mean, but bro, they just it's all in the ring, Chris. Everything's in the ring, and everything happens in the ring, and they just are not thinking outside the box, man.